Well, I guess this means I have to do the Tripwire video now. Also, didn't I tell y'all that some of the information I said is going to be inaccurate in a couple of days? First of all, he starts with 105 HP, meaning he can tank 2 hits from Colossus right out the gate. Yeah, let's forget about Colossus for a second, talk about Tripwire. Our favorite doll that can double jump like a crackling, glide faster than Sonic, can laser people, give people hugs, and have up to 10 mines at a time. She can be a handful and quite difficult to stun if the user uses the ability to full potential. She can be quite oppressive, which leads us to which of the survivors are best suited against her and which ones suffer greater from her kit. Let's not waste any time and let's start it. Yeah, I'm gonna start with a strong opinion right off the bat. Tails doll is best matchup Cream can ever hope for, mostly because she doesn't get indicated and tracked 10 seconds into the match unlike the 2011 and Colossus. There are a lot of times where you can hide the whole game and barely be seen. Your healing as Cream is amazing at healing up chip damage from all of Tails doll's abilities. Mines don't become much of an issue as long as survivors know where Cream is hiding. Yes, in a direct confrontation, you're useless once again against the killer, but the fact you can hide sometime all game and heal everything Tails doll has inflicted gets Cream an easy A rank. Yeah, this is probably the highest rank she'll ever get against killers, so let her have this one. Sonic is unfortunately the weakest pick out of the 3 killers he can go up against. His drop dash works more as an extra stun once somebody has successfully hit their stun rather than an initial stunner, as Tripwire can just jump over you over and over again until your ability runs out. His peel out is still great at helping people out, but you have to be careful for the mines as it can be quite difficult to dodge them when running at Mach 5 speed. Tripwire grab goes completely through his dodge meter and the laser drains it quickly when connected, making his dodge meter way less relevant than when facing the other 2 killers. He also doesn't have any other way to defuse mines other than sacrificing his own health. Sonic is still a great character however, his kit will never land him low on the list. B rank is still a solid place for him to reside at even though majority of Tripwire's kit counters him. I mean, he is the main character after all. Tails is in the same spot as Scream when it comes to detection. A lot of times you can hide on high grounds and just never have Tripwire come close to you. It's really easy to miss the initial shot of the laser as the doll is quite small and mobile, but it's not hard to graze it even for a split second as long as you have decent aim. You got the most consistent stun when facing Tripwire. However, up close, you're very much in trouble as the moment you use glide, Tripwire can just simply use the laser to cut your wings and make you fall. Tripwire's mines are also for some reason completely immune to Tails' laser. I don't understand why that is, but yeah, beats me. Tails gets a B rank. Not much survivability when found, but can easily stay out of Tripwire's reach on certain maps. Being the most consistent stunner earns him this rank, even though he can only do it once in a while. Knuckles is in a brutal spot against Tripwire. Where against Colossus is the king of squaring up, against a mosquito like Tripwire it's really difficult to land a proper punch or even a counter. Your best ability is unironically glide to try and dodge, as trying to hit a punch is really difficult unless you camp around corners for a swing. Your counter also gets completely countered by her entire kit. She can place a mine under you, she can laser you when you try to block, and she can give you a warm hug. It's rough to be Knuckles against Tripwire. Gotta give my man a C rank. All your abilities struggle against a Kraken like Tripwire. Amy is the opposite of Knuckles. Where Knuckles struggled against Tripwire and did a great job against Colossus, Amy does a damn fine job at surviving against Tripwire while struggling against Colossus. Her hammer swing can be fairly challenging to hit against a mobile creature like Tripwire, but it's still the easiest stun to land. Hammer throw however is best seen to be used against Tripwire's mines instead of trying to hit her, as she jumps around everywhere. It's really difficult to land one of those unless you get really lucky or you predict her movement. Amy's hammer throw can be used to help teammates out of a hug as it doesn't deal any direct damage back to you unlike the hammer swing. She can survive for a pretty long time if you roll good cards. Even Sonic card isn't bad as knowing where Tripwire is makes it really easy to evade her. I found Amy to be more enjoyable to play against Tripwire than most characters due to her self-sufficient cards like Blaze, Shadow, and Tails. Of course, Moon card can make you walk into some hidden mines you couldn't spot by accident, but roll a Blaze card and you can be an annoying mosquito like Metal, where you bother the execution for a couple of moments and run away to heal to 75 HP. Amy gets an A rank. She isn't quite up there due to her teamwork be quite lacking, and she can screw over plenty of medals over there by hitting her Pico hammer at the wrong time, but her survivability against Tripwire is one of the best out there. Metal being the tank makes him incredible against Tripwire. Yes, his slippery nature makes him hitting his stunts quite difficult, but if you land it, your entire team can put quite the distance away and force Tripwire to find someone once again like in hide and seek. It's really easy to tank damage and go and repair, as Tripwire cannot track you down like 2011 and Colossus can. Your charge can get cancelled by the beam however, but they need to be ready for it, so it's not like it's going to happen every single game. You can also step on the landmines if you have teammates like Sonic and Knuckles to clear your path, as you can heal the damages on your own without an issue. There are some team-ups that are terrible for Metal, like Amy for example, as there will be plenty of times where you'll want to help them just for them to stun the target for a singular second with the Tails card. Metal gets an A rank. Honestly, if his stun was easier to land, he'd be in the S tier, but when Tripwire can just jump around your charge until it finishes, it can feel quite infuriating at the time. Nevertheless, you're the king of burning time. Oh, Eggman, the evil genius that master plan that gets completely thwarted by Tripwire's kit. Yes, your shield is good for one mine every now and then, but other than that, you're once again nothing more than a metal supporter. Sure, you outpace Tripwire quite easily with your jetpack, but with Tripwire's glide, they can easily catch up to you quickly, as your shield stun is pathetic in terms of duration. Not to mention, the shield doesn't even protect you from the grab nor the laser. Your double jump also means little when Tripwire does that by default. There's very little reason to ever pick Eggman unless you want to watch the game from afar or follow Metal all game long. Either that or play Minesweeper all game. He'll be landing in C rank. Sorry big dog, but you're a master at Rage Rating 2011X, not Tripwire. Blaze got a pretty good matchup against Tripwire, even though Tripwire is quite small. Her kit got a decently sized hitbox, so it's not the hardest thing to land, especially if Tripwire is coming down from her glide. Your spear will mostly be used for disarming mines, as landing it on an unstunned Tripwire is quite the challenge. Of course, you can use it after Tripwire has been stunned to get some free energy and gain some distance away from her. Your Salt Flame attack has iframes through the entire thing, meaning both laser and grab cannot touch you, so you can use it as an escape tool if you see it coming. Blaze gets an A rank. She got plenty of tools to work with and will survive a decent amount of time if she stays near her team. And then we arrive to Silver. Silver got two ways to dismantle traps, as both his time reversal and his rock is capable of defusing the mines. His flight is great for looping in very certain spots, as Tripwire can't reach really high spots instantly. His suspension is really difficult to land however, and even if you manage to hit them with your suspension, Tripwire can just use her laser to break out of the grab. Rock being the same story, except if you whiff the rock, Tripwire will quickly end up taking a lot of your health away. But Silver having flight that grants him extra height and extra speed, two ways to dismantle traps, and two ways to disrupt Tripwire if landed, gotta land him in the S tier. Congrats on being the best Silver, even though on console you're a nightmare to use. And that's the tier list. This tier list took way longer than usual to make, as not a lot of players play Tripwire, which is surprising considering how strong they are. My assumption being that rushdown characters are way more fun than trapper characters, which I do tend to agree with. This tier list is fully opinion based, as I have far less experience with Tripwire than I did with Colossus, so you guys can tell me your opinions down below in the comment. Appreciate if you made it this far, and maybe in the future I'll make a tier list for 2011X. And I do hope you guys will feel the sunshine today, baby!